In three, two. Hey, everybody, it's Aaron here with Robert, and welcome to Get Your Geek On's review of Ms. Marvel episode 3, 4. I knew it.
Episode 4. We're here. We're more than halfway through. We're 2/3 of the way through the series. And we are going to be spoiling what happened in these first 4 episodes. So if you have not watched it, what are you waiting for? The show is awesome. Go watch it. But then come back and hear some of our thoughts on this episode in particular. So, Aaron, what did you feel about this episode that basically exclusively took place in Karachi, in Pakistan? How did you feel about this episode?
To be honest, for me, and not because of where they are, it was one of the weaker ones. Storytelling wise, I felt really weak on it. For me personally, like we got the background of like the bracelet, a little more background of her. We kind of get more of like the people helping her with the what do you call it, the red daggers.
Mm-hmm.
We get all of that, but there was just certain parts where I was not. The villains, I guess, are almost coming off like they did with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those ones with the masks, they're just there as cannon fodder. Then they were, I don't know. I guess the first half I'll say this, let me rephrase. I like the first half. I hated the second half. And because it was like when we see the villains fighting and we see Red Dagger coming out and helping her, and they're all, everyone's going on. Big spoiler, of course. First of all, the teacher, I guess, of the Red Daggers, he dies. Which that was kind of a weird death because I'm like, he was just stabbed in the shoulder, it looks like. But okay. I'll say maybe she hit some vital organ.
Chucked off a building.
People fall off buildings all the time in Marvel and live. I want to point this out.
Well, I mean, if he's just a regular human, though.
But then, like, you see the kid, the teacher kills one of the guys, or at least I assume is dead because he throws 2 daggers in the guy and he falls over.
Yeah, we don't really know about how invulnerable these people are. Obviously, they can be stabbed, but we don't know how good at recovering from things like that they are.
Exactly, because we see like the mother figure, the main girl, she just kind of ignores that guy dying. But then when Red Dagger kills the other one, she's like, oh my gosh, like all shocked. I'm like, you just saw one of your other guys get stabbed twice and you were just like, whatever. And now this one dies and you're like, oh my gosh. And that's why I was kind of like, I don't get them. They're starting to feel like those characters from Falcon Winter Soldier. Overall, again, loving the story. I'm loving that we're getting more of like what's going on, more of her powers. We're even seeing her starting to learn her powers more. Loving all that. It was just that back half I was not part of it. I was kind of taken out.
Yeah, I would say of the 4 episodes, this is the weakest one for me as well. And I think that more has to do with like we didn't make a whole lot of progress in this episode, right? It was we went to Pakistan. She got hooked up with her nani, her grandma, a couple of cousins. We see, she meets these new people in the Red Daggers, and she gets a tiny bit of information about that, but really not very much. Right. And then the only other thing we see in this episode is we see, the clandestines escape from their captivity super easily.
Oh my God, that was terrible.
And leave Kamran behind because he made his choice, which I understand. I think that worked from a storytelling perspective and potentially will make Kamran into more of an antagonist because now he's been abandoned by his family because of this choice he made. So will he regret that choice? Will he maybe be an antagonist to Kamala because of that? Like, I think that's setting up a potentially interesting dynamic with him. But I agree. Like the story just didn't progress enough in this episode. And where it leaves off is where I'm most interested. Right now, she's at this moment in time where her grandma was saved by her great grandma. I think we're going to find out what really happened to Aisha, whether she's, alive somewhere and has been maybe trapped or imprisoned somewhere, or was she, killed by these other clandestines for whatever she did, we don't know, but I think we're going to find out a lot more in episode 5. But me saying that this was the weakest episode so far doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. I still had a good time. I still like these characters. I definitely missed the other members of her family, her father, her brother. I missed Nakia and Bruno. Like I missed all of those people that we've
Mhm.
gotten throughout the first 3 episodes. I think they add so much.
Right.
And so having like I liked her grandma, I liked the cousins, I liked all of those scenes, but I was missing some of those relationships we've established in the other episodes. It did feel like, and you could feel that Nakia is still upset at her. You know, she's not
Right.
responding to her text. She's not, you know, all those things. But I wish we could have at least gotten maybe a scene of Bruno and Nakia talking in this episode. Maybe just, I know this is this is a show about Kamala, but I was missing a little bit of their presence in it.
Right.
The action overall I was okay with. I thought it was a pretty good chase scene that rolled out. The first kind of fight scene that she had with the Red Dagger guy was kind of a fun, like, are we actually like against one another? Or are we, like, what are you? Who are you? Like they're trying to
Yeah.
like figure each other out. And so like I thought that was interesting, but then she turns on a dime and just trusts them very quickly, which I thought
Yeah.
was odd because the last time she did that, turned out that this was a group of people that wanted to kill everyone. So like,
Exactly.
it was one of those things where I was like, Kamala, I feel like you need to be a little bit more skeptical.
And that's where like I felt the storytelling was also a little weak. But I will also say, as much as I liked that fight scene, there were a couple parts in it where it reminded me I'm watching a TV show. Because like when
Mhm.
you see the dagger and she blocks it, it looks so CGI'd and so terrible. I was like, yeah, I forgot this isn't a Marvel movie, it's a TV show, and
Yeah.
it looks terrible. But I do like when he like gets ready for her to throw it and she just like completely misses, it hits the ground. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, because she doesn't know what to do with that.
humorous. No, I mean that
Like,
would
no.
like, yeah, I've never actually tried throwing knives. I've done like the axe throwing at some things like that,
Yeah.
and that's hard enough. But yeah, like trying to do that with a knife, like it's, and
It's
I
like,
yeah,
yeah.
she's not like naturally athletic to begin with. It doesn't seem
And
like, on top of which that's a very difficult thing to master. It's like, yeah,
exactly.
she just
So like,
misses him by 30 feet or whatever.
yeah, it's like hits the ground. And it's kind of like, yeah, I expected that. And that's one thing I kind of like. Like, so again, some storytelling works. Like that works. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, she would know how to do that because she's a 16-year-old kid and not trained and unathletic. But then, like you said, the part where it's like, oh, I'm gonna trust you guys right off the bat. Okay. And you just run with it. No. And I almost feel like this was also all done just to give her some of her costume. Because at the end of it, she does get some aesthetics to her costume. And I'm like, was
Yeah,
this
we're
whole episode really just to
just
give her that?
just like other episodes of or other shows of Disney Plus, like we're building to a final reveal where she's going to wear the full costume in like the final
Yeah.
shot. And I'm like, at least we're doing it in the season finale, and we're not like Smallville taking like 9 seasons to see him in a
Oh
Superman
my
outfit.
gosh. Yeah.
But still, it's like, can't we just get to this stuff quicker? Like, why do we have to wait until the very end? Like, why did we only see Sam Wilson in his Captain America in the final episode? Like,
Yeah.
I wanted that suit for a lot longer than the 30 minutes that we got it. And I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel that same way about Miss Marvel's suit. Is like, I want to see her in her full outfit for longer than 15 or 20 minutes that we're gonna get. And
Right.
and so yeah, because the mask looked good. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't understand how anyone could know who you are, see you in that mask, and then go, who is this girl? But you know what? We're gonna suspend disbelief. If
Yeah.
Clark Kent can get away with taking his glasses off and nobody knows that he's Superman,
I mean,
I
unless
guess.
you're like underage, like 7, and you have to be his son, we never talk about, then you might not know.
No.
But yeah, I mean, overall though, it wasn't a terrible episode. Like you said, it is the weaker one though, because again,
Yeah.
I felt like at certain points they also kind of wrote themselves into a corner, especially with the Clint, the Jin, all the other ones, because this is supposed to be the DODC. This is supposed to be people that deal with superpower people, and we have one guard, literally one guard.
No, there were two. They took
He was
them
around the
both
corner,
out
I
very
thought.
quickly. No,
Oh,
he ran around the corner to try and get himself prepared to come. Like, yeah. So there were two.
two guards,
but still,
or like
yeah.
5 superpowered people. That should be like one guard per person, and maybe like 10 more behind them, because we know they have superpowers.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like it seemed like they had no idea what they were capable of. And so they and that's no, but they erred on the wrong side. Then if you don't know what someone is capable of, you assume they're capable of a lot,
Yeah,
not assume they're not capable.
I
Like,
guess.
and so that was it. I was definitely something I thought of too. That was another, like, we need them to escape, but then why not just have them escape from them at the end of the last episode? Why did they need to be captured? Like,
Yeah,
we
like
never
they
even
bust out of the
see,
car. Yeah,
yeah, we never even see an interaction between like the DODC agents and them. So like, I don't know why they were captured in the first place, because we
and
didn't need them to be there.
yeah,
We
and
just
something.
needed them to not catch Kamala so that she could go off to Pakistan. Okay, well, maybe one of them gets injured or a couple of them get injured or something like that, and they have to retreat for a little bit. Like, there's a better way to do it.
Yeah. If Nick Fury was there, there would have been like 50 guards down there, no matter what, because he'd be like, I already know what they can do. How do you know? I'm freaking Nick Fury. I know everything. So it's
Nick
like, I don't know.
Fury's
I
off in
guess
space. So.
he's off in space. I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, you should err on the caution side. But yeah, I mean, like you said, they need him to escape. They need him back out there to go fight in Pakistan. They need to help push that storyline. So I mean, again, I'm just curious though. We don't know enough on them, so it's like if those two guys that were stabbed come back, are we going to get that? Oh, they are invulnerable. They can never die. But if they do come back and we see, the great grandmother's dead, then that's going to be kind of weird to me, because you're telling me they pick and
We're gonna-
choose when they're invulnerable.
Yeah,
And
we're
I
going to
don't
see
know.
what happens. I will say one thing I really like that the show continues to do is really just focus on the culture and even the
Right.
legacy of Pakistani people. I thought the grandma's line about like, my passport says I'm Pakistani, my roots say I'm from India. Like, I'm trying to figure that out. And her little
Right.
conversation with Kamala, where she's like, well, will you ever figure it out? And she goes, what's the hurry? Like, she's kind
I
of
think-
come to accept that, there's a lot of things that have gone into making her the way that she is and making her the person that she is and all of those things. And so talking about, partition and what it did to their people and their culture and their
Mhm.
region and all those things, like, I thought that was really well done. And so I've been enjoying that aspect of the show. And I thought this was another solid step, as she's a fish out of water, as even though
Right.
she is a Muslim and she's of Pakistani descent, she's never been in Pakistan before. And so her,
Right.
like how she's
The
fitting in,
genes, because
everybody
of that.
talking about her outfit and all of those things, or the
Yeah.
food she's trying, like all those different things. Like,
That's a good
I thought
point.
that all worked really well. And so I
And-
still did enjoy this episode, but it just felt like a very setup episode.
Yeah.
And, after 3 episodes of me really enjoying the show, this one is just kind of like, okay, like now I'm ready for episode 5. Like, give me episode 5.
I'm ready for that too. And I think you're right. I think it's funny that we got to see some of the culture in it. And again, it's something I've loved. And again, like you said, the fish out of water. I think this episode hit it as someone who has no idea how the culture is over there. And the women have to dress way differently than what they do in America. They couldn't go inside the restaurant because she wore jeans, because over there women don't wear jeans. They can't wear the denim, or was it the cotton or the denim? I can't remember what it is about it.
I'm not sure.
I know there's something like tradition wise, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see where 5 and 6 go, and hopefully they'll have a nice little bow on top and we'll be all set. But on that note, definitely check out everything else we do, all of our other videos, podcasts, everything else at Official GYG on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and well as anywhere you listen to any podcast stuff at Official GYG. I couldn't think of what I was going to say. You know what? Words are hard.
Words are hard, but
Done that.
it's not like we do that for a living, right?
No, not at all. So on that note, stay geeky, guys. You get your geek on.
Bye.